Hello and welcome. On today's video, we're working with some new product from Hero Arts, and we're going to make a fun tote. So we have got the tote bag. There's 6 cutting dies. This is from Hero Arts, and this tote bag looks exactly like the tote bags that I had in my banking career. I had a white one with blue trim, and then I had one that was blue, and we had our logo on there. But these are so fun. You got the handle. You've got the little tag piece, you got the pocket, and the trim piece for this, and it is super fun. We're actually going to make a gift card holder with this on a card. And then I've also got Totes the Best stamp set here, and you've got just tons of sentiments, and you've got a lot of little decorative elements that you could add to your tote bag. Flowers and flourishes and squares, and there's actually a cake that you could add to it, and we've got lots and lots of sentiments. Happy birthday to you, your tote's the best, it's what inside that counts, and then we've got the cutting dies. There's just lots and lots of sentiments. Every day is a cake day, just for you, hooray, just a note. And then we've got a super fun background builder stamp set here, and this is really neat. We've got like straight lines, we've got almost like bubbles, or you've got a couple like paint splotches and just some dots, and just a really fun background builder. I mean, you can use this for just about anything. Super. So I'm excited to get to work with this, and we're going to use all of these products on our card today, and we're just going to get started. Now, I did my die cutting in advance, and I have brought in Cosmic Sky for all of my trim pieces, and this is Spellbinders waterfall cardstock, and I have got Breeze for the lighter blue on my the tote. And then this is the little tag, and I'm going to get this thing on there first so that I don't lose it on my desk. And I've got this thing upside down, and I'll spin it around here in a minute. But anyway, I thought before I lose that tiny little piece, I'm going to get it laid down on here. Now, I kept this all in just regular time, so this is real live. Basically, it took me 22, 23 minutes to assemble this card. And I'm just realizing there that, oh, you've got it upside down. Let's spin it around, and we'll get our tag on the upper left-hand corner where it belongs. And then I'm using the Spellbinders, the new craft tools that they just came out with. I've got the wax tool, and then I've also got the pokey tool there. And I'm just going to get this lined up on there. I'm going to grab my pokey tool and kind of clean up any bits of glue that are kind of lying around there. And we'll just clean up around the edges and have a really nice clean piece there. So next we've got the strip that goes along the top of the bag, the decorative piece, and all of these are stitched, and they've got the stitch detail. And I should have brought my bag and showed it to you, because this is exactly like the bag that I had at work, except mine had kind of like a tote, a natural collar, and then it had the navy blue around it, and then I had a second one that was the navy blue collar, and then it had, I think it probably had a white handled bag. But anyway, and then we had a bright green, kind of a peridot logo is what we had at the bank, and it would have, had like an eagle on it. Anyway, very fun. We had very fun logo wear at the bank. Anything you wanted, we had. So it was really nice. I really enjoyed the benefits of working at the bank and the opportunities that it afforded me during my career. So anyway, I'm just kind of trimming this up and getting the glue off of there. I was taking my tweezers and just kind of cleaning up the glue. Now, I thought instead of putting it on the handle, I would put it on the bag and just put it right in the center of the debossed area. I'd put the glue there, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it seeping out. So I got to clean off these tweezers. They've got a lot of glue on there, and they're kind of getting things gunked up. So we'll get them cleaned off, and then we're going to get this laid down on here. And since I filled my glue bottles up, I'm getting plenty of glue on it, and it's enough glue that stuff is moving around on me. So it's nice to have that movability when you're laying panels down, but sometimes they'll shift on you. And I do have that happen later on this, but I will kind of trim up my card base and get it fixed. So I'm just getting these lined up with the detail that is on there and giving it a good press. And you can see I've got 2 handles on there, die cut out, and I'm going to kind of stagger the second one so that you'll see the second handle on the card. And this is the pocket here. And I wanted to add something decorative on this pocket, and I thought we've got this coordinating stamp set. We'll just bring in a stamp and we'll stamp it right on there. And so I'm going to get it laid down. I've got my mini black Misty here, and the pocket is not, I don't think it's an exact like square. It's not exactly square. So I'm just going to line it up here in this corner as best I can and hope for the best, since it's not, a perfectly square pocket there. And so I'm using it's what's inside that counts. And I'm doing that because I'm going to pop this up and make it a gift card holder. And so that's why I chose that it's what's inside that counts. But I think, that's a very fun sentiment. And I don't know how many, of us as kids have had our parents say, or as parents said to our kids, it's what's inside that counts. And we're not talking about a gift card. But anyway, so I thought that was super fun. And I'm just going to bring in, I have got some prized ribbon, Distress Oxide ink, and that pairs very nicely with the Cosmic Sky cardstock from Spellbinders. I've paired those together often because I like to use a lot of blue, and the prized ribbon really pairs up nicely with the Cosmic Sky. I just showed you there. Anyway, so we're just going to get this stamp set inked up, and I'll ink it up a couple times because it hasn't been used. It's new. And I'm zoomed way in so that you could see the assembly of the tote bag, and I haven't zoomed out yet, but I think you'll be able to see everything okay. And you can see I'm just dabbing, trying not to squish and make a big mess, but we've got some pretty good color on there, so we'll go ahead and stamp it out. This is when I've realized you need to probably zoom out so they can actually see what you're doing. So I'm zoomed out just a little bit, and I'm kind of giving it the light press to begin with, just to make sure I don't squish it, make a mess. Then I thought, oh, I can go a little bit heavier, and we're going to ink it up one more time. I'm showing you it did pretty well, but I think it needs a second inking, and we'll just ink that up, and it'll turn out nice. So this is Sunday, and I've done several videos today. I had a little bit more time than what I have had, and got a lot of videos done. But I had everybody over for dinner today, and I made my homemade meatballs and spaghetti, and we had garlic bread and salad, and had everybody over for lunch, and it was a nice time. We are dog sitting, so we do have the dogs. And then it was such a lovely day that we all went out onto the patio and sat out there. I say we all, my daughter, my sister, and I went out and sat on the patio. The men, I think, were tasked with taking care of the children. So we sat out on the patio and enjoyed that. And I think the kids were probably, I don't know, I think, skating, or not skating, scooting. They have scooters in the front yard, and we were in the backyard on the patio just enjoying the sunshine and sitting out there and talking, and it was just a lovely day. And my daughter wound up taking the kids and going home, and my sister stayed longer, and we just sat out there for a long time. It started to get a little bit windy and a little cloudy. We thought maybe a storm was blowing in, but then she went home, and I took a little nap, and then when I woke up, the sun was back out, and it was really nice, and I thought, well, I'm refreshed, let's get to crafting. So I made, I don't know, 2 or 3 videos and got them uploaded. So this is I think my third one. So we've got it's what's inside that counts, and I raised the pocket. You could actually tuck something into that pocket because I raised it on the sides and the bottom so that you could do that. And I don't know if I will or not, but I don't on the video, but you could easily tuck something in that pocket on the front and it would be fun. So I'm just trying to get a feel for how I want to line these up. And I've decided I want to lower the back handle so that you can see it through there. But I want it to be flat because, like I said, I want to be able to tuck a gift card into the back of this. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on each side of that and then kind of get it lower where I want it. And we'll get it laid down on there, and you can see it from from the front of the card when we get it on there. You can kind of see that. And I didn't glue either one of them down, so you've got kind of some dimension there, and it'll be just fine. And there we go. We have got our tote bag, and I think it is so fun. Now, I'm going to have on my channel later this week some other bags, luggage, purse, stuff like that. Spellbinders, in addition, has some product like that, and I'm going to be showing you that. And Hero Arts has actually got a stamp set that is to pair with those pieces, and I'll be showing you that as well. So that's going to be a super fun set. Hopefully I'll get that done and get it on the channel this week as well. But lots and lots of fun product with this month's release from both Spellbinders and Hero Arts. So I'm going to get another piece of foam tape and get it laid down on here, and then we'll be able to start building our card. And I'm going to use the scraps in which I die cut this tote bag out for our background panels. And I don't like to waste, and I like to make the most out of the Spellbinders cardstock. So I've got a side folding A2 size card base, and I've got the Breeze, and I've got the Cosmic Sky, and I've cut the Cosmic Sky down to layer inside of the Breeze, and I'm just going to get some glue down on here and get these laid down. And I'm not worried about anything, you know, sinking or, you know, feeling unlevel. I've got good heavy cardstock here from Spellbinders, and I'm actually going to use some foam tape on our panel that we're going to layer on here as well. So just getting it lined up, trying to get a decent frame on there, add a little bit more glue. I know it looks really wonky here, but the recipient of this card, unless they deconstruct it, will never know. And so I'm going to bring in a white panel. I've got it cut down to 3 3/4 by 5. We're going to use that background builder stamp set on this and create just a fun background. And we're going to keep with our color scheme using the the Prized Ribbon ink. And I'm going to take several of these stamps from the background builder stamp and create a background. And I'm going to start off with I'm kind of thinking it's like, it almost looks like bubbles or a watermark. If you set your cup down, the mark that you'd get from setting a wet cup on your table. And I'm going to try and figure out how can I make the most of this. And I'll mess around with it. I'll wind up turning it. And then we're going to use it along with a couple other stamps and just create a fun stamped background panel for this. So I'm going to just lay it on here like this, and we'll get it inked up, and we'll stamp it down, and then we'll bring in a couple other stamps. And I've got the mini Misty here, and I would have had a little bit more flexibility if I'd have brought in my bigger Misty, but this one was handy, and I grabbed it, and we'll work around it. So I'm just bringing that Prized Ribbon Distress Oxide ink and getting this inked up really nice. And then we'll do some stamping on here. And this doesn't have to be perfect. The stamping doesn't. I mean, because it's it's kind of like mixed media, and it can be messy or whatever. And I'm just going to get some ink laid down on here. Give it a good press. And I'll just go ahead and clean that stamp off, and we'll get it put away, and then we'll just bring another one in. I've just got a little baby wipe, and I'm just wiping it off with that. And we'll get that off of there, and then we're just going to bring in another stamp. And I'm kind of winging it here. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. And I just bring in that one that kind of makes a kind of a wavy, kind of a line, but they're not perfect. And I'm just going to stamp it right beside it. I thought I could hang this off the edge, and I could do right here across from the circles, and then move it and do it again. Line it up and do it again, and then we can bring in another stamp for that other corner. And we've been able to use, a few of our stamps from that background builder stamp. You can see I've got a little white edge along the top there and also along the right side, and I'm realizing that, so I will need to trim this panel down, but it will work out just fine because I've got it 3 3/4 by 5, and I've got plenty of room for that tote. So I'm going to clean this stamp off again and dry it and then I will line it up again. And so I'm just touching it to something off camera there to dry it. And then I'm going to just line it up, try to get it lined up how I want it. And then we'll just stamp it again, and we'll have some more of our lines there. And we're going to have our tote bag on there, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It does come out pretty good, but it wouldn't have to be perfect because we're going to have a big element sitting on this. But I think it is really fun. I love the stamp set. I can see that it'll be fun to work with this in a lot of different ways. So I'm going to get that one off of there. I'll bring in my wipe and clean it. I don't know why I didn't clean it before I pulled it off, but we'll lay that aside. And then we are going to bring in another one of our stamps and stamp that lower right-hand corner. And this is where you see it would have helped if I'd had my larger MISTI. And at this point, I could have grabbed it, but I didn't. Instead, I'm going to do a little masking, and then we'll get this stamped down. So I'm going to grab a sticky note, and we'll just bring it in, lay it down, and then we can stamp here. And then that'll work out just fine, even though I didn't bring in the big MISTI. So I'm just going to try and line this up here, just eyeballing it, and we've got that sticky note in there, so it's not going to get on my little circle things. And this is just like a little speckled dot is what this particular stamp is here. And I'm going to get some ink laid down on the one side. I don't need to do the whole thing, but we'll just give it a press, and it will add a little dot pattern to our panel. And I'm giving it a good press, and there we go. So we've got a fun panel. Isn't that neat? And I don't even mind, you can see where I've lined it up, and it's not exactly perfect, but it doesn't matter. It's just like a little mixed media panel there. So we've got our panel, and this is where I'm going to cut it down, because you can see I've got that white line across the top, and I've got the white line on the other side. And I'm actually going to cut from all 4 edges, and I'm just going to take 1/4 inch off, and I'll do 1/8 inch on each side and get it all lined up. And so it'll take that little white strip off of there, and we'll have a good clean edge all the way around it. And I actually will reserve this last piece here that I cut off. It is stamped all the way to the edge. I'll reserve that, and we'll put just a little strip of that on the inside of our card when we get finished. It's this one right here. And so we'll get all those out of our way. And we have got a panel to set our tote on. Super fun. And I'm going to line it up on here, and I thought I'll just add some foam tape, and that way, since we've got that those panels that aren't completely whole, we'll just put some foam tape on here, and it will sure everything up, and it'll be just fine. So I'll grab some foam tape, and we'll get this popped up. I've got all my strips and all my backer sheets, and now we can just lay this down. Had a little tiny piece of foam sticking out there, so I'm just cutting it off kind of the bottom of the screen there, and we're going to get this laid down on there. And I think it's a fun background. Trying to get it lined up nice and neat. Get a nice frame all the way around there. And then just give it a good press. And now we have got our tote. And I'm going to pull the strips off, and you can see I've set this up to where I can put a gift card inside of that, and then it kind of goes with what's inside that counts, which is kind of a little play on words for the gift card. And I'll bring in a little faith card that I have. I always keep this in my craft room so that I can make sure that when I make a slot for a gift card that it'll fit, and I've just got this little faith card there, and we'll show it with that. And then we're going to work on the inside. I've been trying to finish the insides of my cards. So I've got that little tiny strip that I cut off of the panel. And I took our stamp set and created Happy Birthday to You. And I'm just going to put some glue on this. It's too wide to go, on the 4 1/4 side. So I'm going to put it on the 5 1/2 side and just make a nice little strip there on the side of the card, and just have a little bit of interest on there. I'm just going to look at my fingers. They are blue from ink. And I'm going to get that laid down on there, and it just adds a little fun element to the inside of the card. Trying to use one of the fingers that's less inky on there. And then we're going to grab our happy birthday. And I don't know if you noticed when I opened it, the card base is a little bit off. It must have shifted because I had plenty of glue on there when I laid it down. And so I'll trim it up. You can see just a little bit of blue on that left-hand side. And I'll go off camera and trim that all up nice and neat. I just referenced it there. And then I'll come back in and I've got it all nice and neat. And we have got our happy birthday on the inside and a strip of that pattern on there, and we can put a gift card in there, and I think it turned out super fun. So I have taken a picture so that you can check it out. If you like, please consider hitting that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and here's a couple more videos you can watch.